Girls to Honcast, twitch.tv/Honcast. What is the grand finals? That is right, we have finally made it. Hon Tour Season 3, beginning back in October, I believe it was. And here we are, all this time later, now, well, technically March 1st here. And we got the grand finals of what is the North American European region to determine which team is joining Sync Esports and representing the NAEU region at the World Finals, which will take place, of course, later this month in Bangkok, Thailand, where the best teams from among the world are going to be coming together and competing for a good prize pool and, well, the title of world champion, of course. So here we are. We got Willow Keeper taking on Fresh in a best of 5. That is right. It is straight up best of 5, no advantages. This was a single elimination event here in the Final Four format. Both of these teams defeating opponents yesterday. Willow Keeper knocking out Reason Gaming 2-1, and Fresh knocking out Nullstone Gaming 2-1. Would we be surprised if this goes the distance? Absolutely not. We got two very worthy teams going at it here. With that said, we are already moving along with the draft, but first things first, got to introduce my co-casters, of course. And yeah, I said co-casters. First, we got the one and only Minnie here. Minnie, how's it going?
Hey man, yeah, I'm doing good, and I can't wait for this series. I mean, this is where it all comes down to. All the effort, all the preparation comes down to this one series, and who's going to make it to Thailand is on the line. So I'm looking forward to it, Breaky.
Co-casters, and I say that because we also got another one's going to be joining us. The one, the only Swindle Melons coming back for some casting purposes. Swindle, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Glad to be back. Thank you for the introduction.
Of course.
I mean, should we just jump right into the draft?
You know what? We should. We are already developing here, so enough of all that rambling on. Let's go ahead and start breaking it down. I'm going to go over real quickly with what we're seeing here. So we got Warby's, Flex, Tremble, Kinesis, the bands, Dr. Repulsor into Rhapsody, Legionnaire into Prisoner, Andromeda into Ophelia, and then the bands to follow. But Swindle, it sounds like you want to start talking about something here.
Well, I know Tree doesn't like to run junglers, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if that Legionnaire goes offlane, especially since Iceland Go-Go is known for playing a really aggressive style of jungler. They've already secured the Ophelia. I imagine Rhapsody Prisoner. Yeah, Rhapsody Prisoner probably go mid. And they just set up like really strong lanes. I'm surprised they picked Dr. Repulsor first pick. I mean, I know they're huge fans of that hero in Tree, but I mean, I just don't know if that's the sort of hero you want to open your draft with. Although it doesn't look like Mint really. Whether they Mint, what do I call them?
Mint, Fresh. We know them by both, to be honest. So Mint, okay. You can definitely call them, and we would know exactly what you're talking about. So.
Okay, because I mean, my opinion, what was always concerned when you picked DR was whether or not the other team would pick up a Witch Slayer, because it's sort of just perfect. You get like 6 seconds to disable, and in that time, DR often dies. But they didn't really pick any hard counter to DR just yet, so it'll be interesting to see if they pick one of their cores to take him down. But a Riftwalker too, interesting. I mean, Aiden, like a year ago, was always talking about how amazing that hero was. I've seen it picked up every once in a while, but I've never actually watched a game with it, so.
Oh, Swindle, it's obvious you haven't been watching here lately. Root of Z is known for playing a very dominant Riftwalker. With that said, in that secondary support role, it is one of his niche heroes with this season. And so definitely not too surprising, to say the least, picked it up by them. But yeah, it is crazy how it's just kind of been brought on. But it is only ran by Tree pretty much for the most part here. So we are going to be seeing that here. But Minnie, I want to go ahead and let you chime in here. What do you think of the draft so far going on?
Yeah, I mean, this seems pretty simple or pretty standard here for Tree, though. The Legionnaire has been picked up the last, 4 or 5 games. They've been trying to run it mid. And I can understand why Mint have picked up the Prisoner and Rhapsody, though, because they'll be running mid, and they're going to be facing the Legionnaire 1v2. And I couldn't think of a better matchup against Legionnaire 1v2, because if Prisoner lands that hook, he's probably going to die regardless. So, yeah, makes sense from Mint. They're probably going to finish off here with some kind of hard carry. Well, not hard carry, but a carry that can handle himself in the solo lane, that can get involved earlier on. We've seen Progress play like Malakan sometimes, depending on the matchup. He's going to be facing Suicide Curse, so I think even Malakan would be decent. He's going to hold his own against melee versus melee.
Yeah. I got to stress this here, too. You know, the Dr. Repulsor pickup, again, tends to be pretty popular. It is going to be in the hands of Baltazar. Legionnaire now, actually, we saw this yesterday a couple times. It was the first time we started seeing this, because you are right. Tree's not known for running a jungler. However, yesterday, Minnie was pointing this out even, they've actually been running what's actually been a middle Legionnaire. they've actually been going with that. And yesterday it actually worked out at least one of the times. The other time, not so much. But they're going to give it a shot here today. So we'll see how that develops here for them.
It's a really solid pick here. I like the I like the Accursed more, to be honest. It just really fits the synergy of their current draft. And if you look at the Mint lineup, they're going to need a last pick a hero here. I assume it's going to be Probusk's hero, and it's Soul Reaper.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just not. I mean, that's a good pick. It fits in well, but I just don't know if it's going to be able to output enough enough damage to kill anything on Tree once the team fights start. Because Prisoner, Rhapsody, Ophelia, they just don't supply much damage, and you've got a DR and a Legionnaire with an Accursed behind them that are just going to be all up in your business with a Riftwalker ulti always to fear. It'll just be an interesting lineup. I'm ready to watch some Han.
Yeah, here we go. Minnie, what do you think about that Soul Reaper final pick?
It's just something that they needed to run, though. Like it fits the strategy very well. They're obviously looking to team fight and push very early on, and they needed something that can handle himself against an Accursed. I talked about Malakin, but Soul Reaper probably works a lot better. That's better in the lane. It gives them some kind of sustaining in the pushes as well because of the heal. So I think it can work, but like Swindle says, though, it's where's the damage? Like particularly when you're playing against an Accursed, you kind of need like some real sustainable damage. Otherwise, the Cauterize and the Fire Shield will just keep everyone up on Tree side, and then you're not going to be able to kill anyone, unfortunately. So I think it's going to come down to lanes, like most sort of drafts and strategies like this sort of all-in push and team fight. If they can get off to a good start, then they can snowball from there. But it's going to come down to lanes, and Tree are looking to try and outplay, though, as they always try and do.
Yeah. It's really interesting, too. I like what Soto was talking about there, because, again, Dr. Repulsor is just a go-to carry nowadays, even first pick, not too surprising, to be honest. But about the Witch Slayer you were talking about, it's because we've seen that every now and then, but it's not really been something for a hero that's picked up as often as Doctor is lately. We don't see enough Witch Slayer. Now, there's a hero, Moira, obviously, more recent. We have seen her now and then. She's considered a pretty powerful counter. In fact, we saw that yesterday with that Mana Sunder of his. But, yeah, clearly Mint not really putting a whole lot of focus on trying to counter the Dr. Repulsor here with the heroes that they picked up. Now, Shackle from Prisoner, there is a little bit of a tool there in that sense, but, it's not really the hard counter, say, as the Witch Slayer or the Moira even can bring to the table. So we'll see if that hurts them in the long run, which, it definitely can with Doctor.
Shackle prevents the ludicrous speed?
Yeah,
I believe so, yes.
Sure? Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because that's it's a really weird interaction with that spell. There were always some abilities that were disabled, and I don't remember exactly which one, but I think it was
Bubbles.
like a Madman.
Still do it.
Bubbles, and I think Madman could barrel roll to break it, but I could be wrong on that one.
Hey, you might be right. I don't know.
Interesting. So the Ruda Z is going to pull the first creep wave. Looks like he'll pull it into the jungle.
Yeah.
Man, we used to laugh about this when we were still playing Han, and how, we actually would complain to Aaron all the time that this was like really silly. But I mean, I guess it works. I can't believe it actually works. We never gave this a try.
Well,
Zach always wanted to.
It's kind of funny because, again, Tree, like you pointed out, they don't run a jungler, but they do this. This is actually their go-to strategy here. Again, Ruda Z, especially when he's on the Riftwalker, whether it's Riftwalker or another secondary support, they'll pull the creep wave into the jungle. And, yes, it's a very powerful strategy. It's definitely a lot of the success that Tree has had happen has come from this idea here. Pulling it into the jungle. So, silly as it may be, hey, it works for them, and they've obviously got some pretty good success with it, to say the least. So, Pharaoh bottom lane is going to be fine. Just a little bit of pressure right there. But, yeah, expect Riftwalker to possibly, use these creeps for the farm and then eventually look for some kill potential elsewhere. And, what they also like to do, I don't know if it's going to be the case here, but, then eventually send the short lane into the jungle and then have that person that was doing the pull go into the lane. Kind of a change up there.
Yeah, DR is really good at that.
Yeah, it just gives him the ability to really efficiently farm the jungle. If you don't run a jungler, you still have to be farming the jungle. That's what Tree try and do. You actually lose the range creep, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it happens.
And it does. The Suicide Accursed versus the Soul Reaper, that's a funky matchup, man. That's not often we see something like this, but again, they have been running Accursed as of late, and again, even yesterday, go figure, we saw that Suicide Accursed. That was that final game against Recent Gaming, and Boxy came through big time. On the Accursed, builds it into that more of the carry Accursed as the game picks up, and it's just pretty crazy, the potential. Now, you talked about Soul Reaper, and I think many were hinting at it, that maybe a little bit of a good pick against a Accursed. Is that because of the ultimate, you think, how he can catch him off guard before he gets the Flaming Consumption off, or?
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. That's normally I mean, I think I've seen them run it before, and it works kind of decently against their curse. I mean, the one thing I'm a little bit worried though here from Tree is that they've got Riftwalker rotating mid now, but if he gets hit by a prisoner hook, he's just gonna die. They're trying to find it now, but yeah, if Rhapsody can do like a staccato stun and Riftwalker's out of position, he's just gonna die. So, and I mean, the same goes for Legionnaire as well, I guess. But his position has to be perfect. We saw a couple of games where Root of Ziyech gets picked off in the middle lane when they try and run this kind of strategy. So he's gonna have to be careful of his positioning.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday again, transitioning with that Legionnaire, and now into the jungle goes. Oh God, I still hate this skin, but he chooses it anyway. So, but yeah, obviously Riftwalker needs to be definitely very careful about that. I mean, you can just tell they want to get that hook off for obvious reasons, but Root of Ziyech, at least for now, playing it safe enough. Oh geez, they just keep running up and boxing him out. So no Bloodlust kill just yet, but the potential is definitely there, especially at that top side.
I actually really like the strategy here from Tree. It's a lot more advanced than it looks at first. I've actually this was always something that was viable once they changed the creep mechanics, but especially just as many said, you always need to utilize the jungle. It's sort of necessary at high level Han. You can't get away with just farming the lanes. As Legionnaire hates to spot him, but he's not going to find anything there. But they're actually doing a pretty good job. Even though they don't have the Ophelia, they're actually still maintaining. They were ahead in experience right up until that failed rotation, and they're winning in gold. And that's because they've actually farmed more of the jungle than Ophelia has, which is pretty impressive, actually. And it's a really interesting style. They have Riftwalker just taking the mid lane. He's going to try to not die, which is pretty much his only task. And I think Legionnaire will just start being the main jungler here.
Yeah. Oh, Legionnaire chasing down Pharaoh, but again, not much he can do by himself, at least just yet, so Pharaoh will be fine in the long run. Swindle, I gotta ask you, since we do have you on here, Mini has a point about Pharaoh, not the biggest fan of the hero. What do you think about Pharaoh, Kyle? You have some history playing this hero.
I mean, I don't know, he's always like my favorite hero. I don't know, I think it's good. The thing about it is it's really a lot based on the player. And it's a lot based on your draft and your strategy. Normally, you always want to have at least one or two heroes that you can just kind of deal with effectively. In this game, it's really the Legionnaire. I mean, unless he goes for a push book, he's just totally nullified by a Pharaoh hook. And it's actually a counter used in other games as well because they're direct ports. And it's just a strong counter because especially if you get a barbed armor, you can just sit on him and he can't really do anything. Yeah. And that's the strength of Pharaoh, is that you can just take out a hero pretty much by yourself, and just a really good initiator as well. Plus, he's just fun to play.
Yeah,
especially at a LAN.
That's true. That is true. He definitely is a lot of fun to play. So, top lane, they're trying to set something up here. Accursed is coming in now. Accursed is not level 6 yet. I mean, Rhapsody's coming in. In fact, there we go. There's the ultimate from Soul Reaper, and down goes Accursed. Very good timing. The fact that he was not level 6 yet just before, and that's exactly what you want to do, because obviously not able to use that flame consumption. And on top of that, they're going to be pushing the top tower as well. Ophelia, Soul Reaper, and Rhapsody very strong. Push potential between the three of them, of course. So that's going to be an easy tower kill. And just like that, really in the snap of a finger, all of a sudden Mint has some pretty damn good momentum going for them.
Yeah, that's just the one weakness of the way Boxy plays Accursed, though. I mean, we was talking to him, obviously, in the interview yesterday, Breaky, that whenever he plays... Yeah, whenever he plays Accursed, though, he always tries to get last hits with Cauterize, and he was at half HP when the engagement started. He had a HP pot with him, but just didn't want to use it for whatever reason, and as a result gets caught off.
Oh. I will say, even with that death, he's doing better than expected. He's sitting at 19-4, and Soul Reaper 23-9, and you got to keep in mind, Boxy went boots first. So, I mean, just that he's doing this well is quite impressive. And, ooh, bottom lane, you got a kill and a tower push beginning.
Yep, they dive in and they're successful with that kill. Not much Zibby could have done right there. Legionnaire actually came in with the flank, and Dr. Pulsar flew in with that ludicrous speed. So really no time to react, and again, well played, good collapse on top of him. So kind of a good response, obviously, coming out from Tree. And yeah, good point pointing out there about Accursed that even with that death, he's still 230 gold per minute, and now he's going to have the lane pushed up for him and should be able to pick up some farm. And he's level 6 now on top of that. So really not the end of the world that did happen at that top lane. So. They're looking to come back at it. You got a level 6 prisoner now. In fact, he has a Hastrun also bottled up. They want to try to catch this Curse again. He has the flame consumption now, so you got to be careful with that. He puts the shield up. Not going to use it just yet, not necessary. There he pops it right there as he gets pulled back in. And you see a lot of the damage stops. Here comes the TP now. Ophelia is here. Legionnaire, he puts the ton on a Prisoner. They'll pull it back, decapitate. No, he couldn't get it off. Beautiful stuff with the Minotaur. Got trapped in there, and down goes Legionnaire. There was just too many creeps in the way for Legionnaire to make work right there, apparently. Usually that would be beneficial for the spin procs, but not able to do enough. And now they're going to push the secondary. They're not going to be able to stop this.
There was actually really slow rotations. Like, they should have been all 4 rotating over. Legionnaire TP'd in, which is the right choice, but they needed Doctor as well as Andro and Riftwalker if they wanted to fight that.
There you go. Tower falls. We're 7:40 into this game, and we already have 2 tower kills at the top lane. I mean, Soul Reaper, Rhapsody, Ophelia, that is a very strong push trio, to be fair.
The team fight of Root should more than make up for that, though. I don't really know why they didn't just rotate the Riftwalker over, have the Legionnaire TP in. He also kind of ran off to the left. He had to choose either to commit fully, get going for kills, or to just kind of taunt and run away. And he sort of just, like, ran into the side and just died. And I'm not really sure what he was going for there. Maybe some miscommunication. But if Riftwalker's there and he lands a taunt, like, I'm pretty sure everything just dies. They at least force them off the tower.
We have seen that many times before with Root Disease Riftwalker lands a big wormhole and it's just all of a sudden just annihilates the opposition. So yeah, the potential was there. But for whatever reason, like you guys were pointing out, I mean, just the rotation was late and maybe the communication not 100% on the ball. So again, this is just game 1 of a best of 5 series. So you do have a lot of games and we are just getting started, but you would hope that both these teams are obviously pretty prepared. And, you know, it's kind of interesting talking to Boxy and even Zibbe in the post-game interview yesterday, knowing that they were going to be coming to the grand finals here, that Boxy was very clear that they were very, hyped. They were hyped about yesterday's games. They were really hyped about today's. And Zibbe was even making that point. He's like, yeah, Willowkeeper is really excited, man. They're here to play. And so not that that worries them a bit, but they're going to have to play their best game as well, knowing full what is at hand. So, but we definitely see some good play on both sides here. And again, that's what you would expect here in what is the grand finals with a trip to Thailand on the line, of course. So all 5 are gathered up here in the middle lane. We got a classic mid-wars fight going on here.
Quick comment. So, number 1, Zibbe chose to not max the Hellfire, but go for the Rocket first, which I'm not always a fan of, but in this sort of game where you can see it's just kind of a slow, it's like a slow pushing and more passive just engagement, it's really good to just throw out rocket after rocket just to even harass the enemies. And in addition, Balthazar is here with a life tube. I really feel like he should be just farming bottom as his team defense here because he's really not accomplishing anything. I think that's what he's going to do, but this is not what you want to do against an Ophelia lineup. You want 4 heroes here and then another one split pushing and farming. Otherwise, you're just playing right into their hands. Yeah. Oh, Riftwalker.
There we go. There's the wormhole that they're looking for. Ophelia's going to be the target. She won't fall before she can get a heal off. Legionnaire with the taunt on the back row, but Prisoner, big prison break. Down goes Legionnaire, and look at Soul Reaper standing his ground, and boom goes a Dynamite onto Andromeda right there. A 3-for-1 exchange, well in favor. They get the tower as well, and it could be more. Accuracy, he still has his flame consumption, but there's a lot here right now. He is going to dodge the hook. Riftwalker's still nearby. He's just trying to hold them off here, and it looks like it will be enough for the time being, but a big fight right there for Mint. And yeah, so it's almost a case of why were they even attempting to defend as hard as they were right there? You could definitely question that, I guess, but hey, it did not work out in the end, clearly, even with a pretty solid wormhole initiation.
Not really.
No?
It hit 1 hero, which I believe was Soul Reaper, who's running around with 1,400 health and investment.
Hit Ophelia and Soul Reaper, but yes. They did kill Ophelia, to be fair, but yeah, it may not have been the best.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to try and... Go on, Swindle.
Oh, sorry. It just feels like the Root's playing right into their hands. I mean, they've sort of half-assed the defense of 2 towers now, and right there, I mean, you just... It's one thing to initiate, but it's another thing to just catch the guy that they're looking for you to jump when they've got an Ophelia and an SR behind it, and they're just not split pushing enough. Like, they need to be getting towers off of these rotations from mid because they're just running with 5 heroes. They need to be split pushing the bottom and top early, and at this point now they're 4,000 gold behind at about 11 minutes, and that's a pretty sizable advantage at this point. So their draft's going to need to do a lot of work to catch up here. They are farming an ancient stack, which I always like to see. We haven't seen Fresh take one just yet, but I'm just a little concerned that I'm having difficulties remembering the name, but Team Mint might just like start running around as 5 and just sort of trying to push the game down their throat, a la the the SG days of old.
There you go. Feel free to call them Tree and Mint, honestly. We know them as that as well, so just look at the tags there. But yeah, Minnie, so what of that fight and what's going on here?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with Swindle. Like, Tree, they don't really have the greatest lineup to really defend Prisses at this time. Like, I mean, unless they get like a 5-man wormhole from Riftwalker, I don't see them really taking a defense. They don't have Portal Key yet on Legionnaire. They don't have like a Nullstone on Doctor Repulsor. They don't have the items to take the team fights. Like, Mint, their lineup is built for this kind of push and this kind of strategy. Trees, they're not kind of thing. They need to farm up, need to get the kind of more levels before they can really meet Mint in terms of team fights. But Ophelia's got her Astrolabe now. Looks like Soul Reaper's going for an icon. I mean, they should definitely defend base and racks, but try and defend their tier 2s is just out of the question.
Yeah. Ooh, mistook there, but quick comment. You also see everybody on Mint choosing to go for the Steam Boots. In addition, 4 of the heroes have vestments already. So really, really tanky. Very, very good builds, in my opinion, in this situation. Because the damage output on Tree's team really needs a lot of time to come online, especially because Baltazar, I believe, is going for that Nullstone. And that they have 2 vestments on their tank on their strength heroes, but at the same time, like if you look at Mint, I don't think any hero is going to be easy for them to take down. They just don't have the damage right now. You see Zibe actually initiating on the Legionnaire, but he does have an Accursed behind him.
Yeah, Legionnaire. There's a port back on Pharaoh. They know that pretty quickly, and yeah, so as a result, not going to do much with it. That is a funky animation right there. Something is wrong with that. There's a shield on top of Legionnaire. Anyways, they go in, but not really much. But look at this.
Astrolabe on Ophelia as well.
Yep, here we go with the Conqueror. Astrolabe helping with that. And, I mean, there is not really the most vision over here. This Ward aside doesn't go all the way to the Conqueror Pit. They snuck in there, and I'm pretty sure Tree just has no clue right now. And this is happening,
I mean,
so...
Even if they knew, I don't think they could really contest it though. Like, they can only really take team fights back at base when they have the position advantage, so they can line up a good Riftwalker ulti. But fighting around Congo is not the best unless they land like a 5-man wormhole, as I said before.
Token of life on Soul Reaper, I would take it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It gives him a sieging mechanic. He can sort of stab the front ground and start harassing down the tier 3s.
There you go.
I really agree with the item choices on both Prisoner and Soul Reaper here. I always hated when Soul Reapers would go any item first, but Icon of the Goddess. I think that's got to be, if that's not the item for you to go in the game, then it's not the right hero, because at this point, he just, they put the token on him and he's just going to hit the tower, bait them to initiate on him. And if you look at the team fight from Tree, they've got a lot of one-hit wonders, and once the Riftwalker ult and the first Legionnaire initiation is down, I just don't know how they're going to be able to kill anything. So if Sawyer can just bait that out, I mean, they've got so much heal behind them. The Ophelia heal plus the Astrolabe is 400 on top of the spam heals from SR. So when you have a lot of effective HP through the mass pickups of Vestment, a wand or two, they're just going to push really aggressively, and this is going to be the fight that decides the game. Already at 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, 100% agree there. I mean, Mint is definitely making a big statement here in what is game number 1, as they got the Ball of Death now pushing in the middle lane. Now, you talk about the split push earlier. We see a little bit of that happening right here, but they're not confident enough that they can really go for the secondary tower. It's already starting to fall back. Legionnaire running. He does have a TP, but he's not going to TP back until it's absolutely necessary. Wants to pick up some more farm. Wants to get that portal key, of course, but still not there just yet. There's the hook onto a curse now. Again, he's got ways to survive. Pops a shield. They don't use too much on him, understandably so, and he will be able to escape right there. So they're stopping the siege for the time being, but I think it's safe to say, again, they're really just trying to buy time for Legionnaire right here to get that portal key. Oops, that was the mistaken pause right there. I don't know if they're going to pause again or not. But
I'll reiterate the same concern. You really need DR to be farming the bottom lane. Like, that's what they need to be doing here. Regardless of whether he's here or not, the push is going to be equally as slow, and he's one of those heroes that he can just teleport to base and he'll make it to the team fight in about 5 seconds. It's just the concern, and one of the reasons I always hated playing against a Prisoner was in this situation, he's just going to keep firing pot shots until eventually he catches one of the Legion's heroes that he just doesn't have an escape mechanism. He can't just shield himself off like an Accursed. And if he manages to catch, the DR or the Legionnaire when he comes back in the Riftwalker, or the Riftwalker. So I think specifically the Riftwalker, they can just move up onto the high ground, position themselves a lot more aggressively, and then just really beat on the tower. But it's a really defensive lineup from Tree. That's why I'm surprised they took as many fights as they did, because if they just split push and get to a point where they have an advantage, I really don't know how Mint will be able to deal with that. And they still don't have a blink on Legionnaire, which is really hurting them. And again, Baltazar choosing to go for the Lincolns or the Nullstone, and
Yeah.
I just don't think that's. I don't like that item in general, but it's so greedy. And if he were going to go that item, he needs to be playing the greedy style, and instead he's sort of just been waiting behind every tower that Mint tries to push rather ineffectively. If he goes Icon, I'm cool with that, because then you do want to be fighting. But when you're rushing this item, you just need to be greedy, trust your team to defend, and let them know. Make sure they let you know when you're needed.
Yeah, definitely spending a lot of time here in base, not getting much farm as a result. So the siege will continue. Here into the middle base. Again, Ophelia, pretty strong army. The Vagabond leader, the double Skeleton King right here. Catch potential, the follow-up to the possible hook coming out. You see, again, a Curse, he's pretty confident that if he gets hooked in, he's good to go, but everyone else not so much. Again, Legionary is getting the time to get that portal key here.
I think he should be pushing bottom and farming bottom. Instead, he's sort of farming the jungle, which, mid lane, does get hooks, but... no, I think he should be pushing bottom, because he's farming up his blink, but I think he's going to be farming faster if he actually just farms the lane. Not only that, he can just go behind the tier 2 of this bottom lane, pressure it at the same time, and maybe try and force a rotation back from Mint. But farming the jungle, he's just trying to farm his blink. He's close to it, I guess, but I think he could be pressuring bot lane while farming as well.
You see, he even does a stack right there. So, I mean, Mint's not necessarily going full throttle here. I mean, they haven't done a whole lot of damage to the tower, and they are keeping them at base somewhat, so we are going to finally see the portal key on Legionnaire here as a result of farming the jungle, but it doesn't look like Mint's necessarily going to be pushing it. Now, they are getting some items delivered. I think a Sackstone just finished on Soul Reaper, actually. Very good item for pushing with, yeah.
Yep. They took it, this is really just like a page right out of a book we used in SG, and this is exactly how you play the game.
Here we go, Hook, going to miss right there. But it is funny you say that, because honestly, we really haven't seen them. They don't usually do this. They are more the hard carry, you know, support that hard carry, the 4-1 strat almost. You know, Probosk usually playing the hard carry, but they are playing a very Stay Green-esque style, and just so happens you are here today as they're doing so. So,
yep. Oh, one thing to note, like the experience advantage was in actually Tree's favor when they started this push, or sorry, Mint's favor. And it's now gone 2,000 in the favor of Tree. So that just kind of goes to show you what the split pushing can accomplish. And the token's fading in a minute and a half. So, yeah. I mean, they're continuing the pressure, but they need to sort of just man up on this tower pretty soon. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to wait for the next Roche. Ooh. Nullstone, by the way, finished on Doctor just in time.
Yeah, he got it right there. And Shaco not applying wormhole in the background. Ophelia, she's going to fall right off the bat. This was a pretty good one at that. Protective Melody going to be canceled immediately. She goes down as well. The pull in the mummy walls are causing issues as far as being locked in, but look at the Curse. He's still in the front grounds. They kill a Pharaoh right there. Prisoner also dropping. And Soul Reaper now all of a sudden the lone survivor. He's going to fall. What a hold by Willowkeeper right here. Can they finish off Soul Reaper again? You got to be a little bit careful with that, but they are going to be able to. Down goes Soul Reaper. A 5-0. I don't know if any of us saw that one coming.
9,000 experience now. Oh my god.
Zibbe there really, I don't know, I think his positioning was just poor. He's got to go for the Riftwalker before she gets her ult off. It's not that difficult. He has really good vision uphill just by throwing a rocket, and the Riftwalker ult hit 3 people, and that's just devastating in the middle of this team fight. He just kind of hooked in late, and it was rather ineffectual in the entire team fight. The Soul Reaper ult did not finish whatever hero it was cast on. I didn't see which. I'm hoping it wasn't a Curse, because that's really not the guy you want to be going for.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't want to say that's game, but that makes it really hard for Tree to lose, honestly, because now you've got a DR that just really won't be killed, even though he went this greedy build, and their token's down, and I just don't know how they're going to win a team fight. Riftwalker gets picked off, but he'll be up in time, and his ult's ready to go once he spawns.
What about you, Mini? Anything else you see from the fight there?
Yeah, I mean, what happened? Prisoner actually hooked in and then used his ultimate, but I think a Curse actually tablet himself out before he got hit by the Prisoner ulti, and then because of that, Tree saw an opportunity and took the team fight, and they kind of clumped together because of the wormhole from Rift, and cost them quite heavily.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wormhole hit everyone, which should usually not happen.
I'm actually kind of know with Swindle, like, because this strategy here from Mint it feels almost it's an all-in kind of strategy. If one of the pushes or one of the team fights sort of loses, it feels very, very hard to almost win the next team fight. Is like what was it like for Stay Green? If you lost a team fight like this, how would you get back into the game? Or could you?
Well, we wouldn't lose the team fight like
Yeah,
that. But
saw that coming.
I mean, at this point, again, like their real issue is, and you saw in that team fight, where is their damage coming from? You know, I mean, their whole lineup is based around getting ahead and staying ahead. And that was like the fight for them to win or lose the game. And now, again, you've got a Soul Reaper level 10, not even having his level 2 ult just yet, and that's their main source of damage. Like, you look, Pharaoh, Prisoner, Rhapsody, Ophelia, they just don't output any damage. And you've gotten a Cursed backing up this Legion team. Like, it's just, even in Andromeda, which I didn't mention, just the swap factor, there's just really not much that I think... I can't remember their name ever. I don't think there's much Mint can do
there you go.
at this point.
Yeah. It does go back to that, yeah, the lack of damage. And it's almost as if Tree, that was the, like you're saying, I don't know if it's necessarily the game, but that was the, hey, if Mint won that very likely could have been the game in their favor. If Tree won that, though, now all of a sudden we have a pretty good game moving forward here, of a back and forth at the very least. Now, when things like that are happening, it's not going to help your cause. Fuson going for a very aggressive ward aside. I mean, he gets it down, but does cost him his life, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mint realizes that, well, there's a reason why he was over here, not just happening to be roaming around. So may look to counterward that here in the near future. But it's also safe to say, though, for Mint, I mean, because of the lineup, because of that lack of overall damage, they're going to need to keep looking to go for team fights and pushes. Oh, Pharaoh right there. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, he didn't want to get caught out by the Legion, so he just ulted.
Not often you see that, but using it in a defensive style to get away right there. But yeah, the timing here for Mint now, 22 minutes in. I mean, it's still got a window here most certainly, but it does feel like it's closing quickly, and it does reflect on the Dr. Repulsor because, yeah, you're right. The swap from Andromeda, the support from Accursed right here, the initiation factor from Legionnaire is just going to continue to get stronger now as he builds up his items further. So things of concern.
Silly question. What? I forget the key. What key do you hit so you stop following the hero around,
V.
like locked your camera on him? V?
I think it
That's what
should be
I thought
V.
it was.
Yeah.
I hit that. It didn't work.
You have to
wrong.
open the little options, spectator interface options, and then unclick lock camera, I think.
Yeah, if you go to if you go to options,
okay.
yeah,
Thank
sometimes
you.
it does bug. So I don't know if that was the case, but
Okay.
there
No,
you go.
never. Bugs? I've never... I played Han for a long time, and I never experienced a
Zero
single bug.
bugs.
Never.
Do not exist. Oh, Doctor is just like, I'm gonna get greedy.
Yeah, you can get away with it, too. Again, like, what are they going to do to kill him?
Yeah.
They don't really have anything. He sees the prisoner top, and it's just... I mean, what can he do?
That is right.
This is how the game is really going to continue, although surprisingly, Hellborn's out-farming the Legion team. They were actually down about 9,000 experience, and they were even in gold, and they've battled back really handily. So I don't think they're out of this game just yet, but at the same time, I just don't know how they'll ever win a fight at this point. Like, they need to get lucky and just... again, they just don't have the damage. Like, I'd like to say there's a way for them to come back into this game, but, I mean... I just don't know where the damage is going to come from. I mean, there's an Insanitarius pickup on the Prisoner, which is I think is a good start. It's a really risky item, but they just need to get greedy like that. Otherwise, again, the damage is really, really going to suffer. I'm actually thinking Soul Reaper. I mean, oh, wow, he went for the Shaman's Headdress, so he's going to be looking for a barrier idol. But I almost think he needs to go like a Grimoire of Power, even though that item's been nerfed heavily, just because otherwise I don't know how they're going to kill anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I think you could definitely very much vouch for that, or even something like a Hellflower to assist with the lockdown on a Dr. Repulsor. Wouldn't be out of the question, a little more damage assistance there. But, yeah, no, the Insanitarius on Prisoner, definitely a powerful pickup, especially with the change to his passive. Now he's level 4 of it here. Whenever he uses the abilities, whenever they're on cooldown, the more damage he does overall. And so it allows you, once you get the hook off, you use your Prison Break, then all of a sudden you're also hitting pretty damn hard, especially now with that Insanitarius. So... but going back to what Minnie was saying, though, it almost does feel like that more and more as this game is developing, that Mint was really going for almost like an all-in strategy of that earlier victory, and they were not able to pull it off when it felt like that was their chance right there. They're going to try
I guess they can.
though.
Yeah, I guess they have somewhat of a second chance here with the next token, but token. But the problem is now Tree, they've kind of got their items to defend base as well. Obviously, we've got Portal Key on Legio plus Soul's Bulwark plus now Abyss is gone, and so it's all these kind of more items. But it looks like Tree are going to try and defend this.
Oh boy, here comes the failed rot. Andromeda going in with the Aurora Legionnaire. Big taunt right there. Hits all four. The Wormhole going off right there. Boom goes that Dynamite. Protective Melody is going to be stopped on Rhapsody, and the AoE damage coming out. Now they're holding the ground somewhat. Prisoner does have a double damage room. He is hitting pretty damn hard. Dr. Pulsar is forced to get away right there, but that flame consumption on the curse, he goes right back up to full, and down goes Prisoner. Ophelia bought back. She is back into the fight. Soul Reaper is still standing his ground, and actually Mint is able to hold a little bit better than maybe we would have expected with such a good initiation right there from Willowkeeper. They were not able to clean them up, though. That was pretty damn crazy how they're able to hold, but it ain't over just yet. He's going to go for the steal right here. Is Doctor and Pulsar. He's just close enough. They're distracting right now. Soul Reaper wants to finish off Congo. Can Doctor get in? No, he can't. He's going away, actually. I don't even know if he has enough mana,
He had no mana. Yeah, he had no mana. They couldn't take it.
How did they hold that?
Big Rhapsody ulti. It's the only answer.
Yeah. Ophelia bought back as well, which is a little bit.
Yeah, just the Ophelia, I believe.
The Ophelia is the only one that bought back right there. So, her heal, the Protective Melody, I guess Soul Reaper, got a couple of Qs off, I'm sure. Somehow, though, they all lived right there. And I'm honestly shocked by that.
Statistically, the Legion team got an advantage from that, but it's worth it for the Aegis, the way their strategies run on Mint, or Mint, Fresh, whatever. They needed that to have a chance to play, to be competitive in this game. So even though they lose 2 and force a buyback, it's okay for them.
Yeah. What about you, Minnie? Anything else you noticed maybe about that fight right there?
Yeah, it's just that, Spindle said it sort of near the start of the game as well. Like when they use kind of like the initiation from Legionnaire and then obviously the Riftful Wormhole, like it's good and all, but they kind of blow their load kind of thing. Like they do that and then it's like there's not much else kind of sustained damage because Doctor isn't farmed enough just yet. Same goes with maybe like the Legionnaire or Accursed, and because of the sustainability from Soul Reaper, after they can withstand the initial sort of jump from Tree, then Mint can eventually get back in sort of full steam in team fights because they've got the heals from Ophelia and Soul Reaper. So.
Yeah, that's. Can you ask for much better initiation from Tree? I thought for sure there was just going to be a cleanup there, but they just held it off, man. The Legionnaire taunt to start, the Riftwalker Wormhole to follow. Dr. Pulsar, maybe I guess his damage output just isn't as high as it needs to be right now.
It's just after that initial jump, like, Astrolabe will be coming out from Ophelia, so will the Ophelia's touch, and then obviously the Soul Reaper spams Qs, and if they don't kill anyone in that initial burst, which I think they killed 1 or 2, they're going to come back to full life, as they did. So I think they killed, like, the Prisoner and the Pharaoh, and maybe the Rhapsody as well, and then after that, Soul Reaper and Ophelia can just sustain the rest of the team.
I'm going to pause here. I believe we're to see, he might be having some internet issues, so earlier he had to pause the game too, so... Looks like we're good to go, though, at least for the time being. And here we go, continuing on. Once again, Mint is looking to group up and push. Now, you look at Tree, and again, now they have some big ultimates. Now, they're not the longest cooldown ultimate. It's not like a Tempest or a Keeper. Hell, a Wormhole's only 80 seconds right now, and it goes down to 70 seconds at level 3. Decapitate, of course, not the longest. So these bigger ultimates that they are relying on for these team fights, not necessarily too long, so they are going to be up. Is the point, so we are seeing another push right here. So, just like before, but you look at Tree now compared to what it was before. They're a lot better off. They got a curse. He is more farmed. He's level 14 here. A Shrunken Head just finished on Dr. Pulsar, actually. So not necessarily the most aggressive item for damage, but it will allow him to do so, of course, as he pops it. A curse gets hooked in, but now actually is going to be forced to pop that flame possession fairly early on. Talbot in the wrong direction, but he is going to be fine in the end. Prison break, though, from Prisoner as he goes in. Riftwalker, he gets pulled back in. A curse is dropping right here. A curse is going to fall as Andromeda swaps it, but not in time. Decapitate in the background on Rhapsody, meanwhile, and the heal comes out from Ophelia. Is that a wormhole? I believe it is a wormhole, but it's not enough. Legionnaire goes down right there. Pharaoh's still alive. He finally goes down, but Dr. Pulsar, he's still good to go, and now we're starting to see his potential here. And once again, just like before, as they're pushing in, they're going to get cleaned up. Robust? Nope, it ain't going to happen. And now he's possibly going to die again right here. There's no way he's going to be able to stand his ground against these. Maybe he is actually. No, there's no way. He's going to have a heal right here. Doctor's low on mana, though. And, yeah, Doctor actually needs to be a little careful himself. Oh, man. Okay, yeah. He will go down. boy, oh boy, another genocide for Willowkeeper here.
Yeah. That was actually not too bad for Mint in terms of the initiation. They actually caught Riftwalker because Riftwalker tried to help out Curse, who got hooked initially, but they wasn't able to kill the Riftwalker, unfortunately, and that's why Riftwalker got back out, then landed like a big wormhole, I think, onto the Soul Reaper and Prisoner to score those 2 kills. If they killed the Riftwalker there, that might have been okay, but wasn't able to finish him off before he used wormhole.
Yeah. Man, that was just crazy fight again. The initiation, Root of Sea has been landing some pretty good wormholes as you would expect, and just another one of those right there. And again, this time enough to do it in. And Dr. Repulsor, you got that Shrunken Egg going into the fight, and I'm sure that definitely paid dividends as well. As now we're going to start seeing more damage focused from him, I'm sure, something like that Hellflower to follow it up here. So once again, the window for Mint, not the biggest right now.
And one thing to note, Legionnaire did buy back there. Oh, initiation.
Okay.
Pharaoh.
That is true. Oh, Zippy goes in. Yeah, he's get some Mummy Walls up. Not in time, though. Actually, the counter from Legionnaire. They want to make a fight happen. Dr. Pulsar protecting Melody, though. That's going to be a big save right there, reducing a lot of damage. Riftwalker, another wormhole, though. Pharaoh, he's in trouble. Prisoner is dropping a Sanitarium switch. Ain't going to be enough. He goes down right there. Pharaoh off to the side. A couple more auto attacks. Riftwalker trying to chase, but cannot chase him down in the air. Legionnaire and Big Tonto once again. They finish off Soul Reaper. They take out Ophelia right there, and another big fight for Tree. And now you can start to feel that Willowkeeper is getting a look at that. GG's being called. They know. I mean, wow. There's still secondary towers up for Mint.
Game was
It's just
over.
the strategy. Yeah. It's just the strategy. Like, if you go that kind of strategy and you don't take Rex by 25, 20 minutes, like, the game's kind of already over.
Wow. That really seemed scary for Tree early on, man. But that hold at the base, obviously the 5-for-0 exchange they were able to make happen, that clearly the difference maker and just enough. Even with the poor fight at Kongor, that didn't necessarily go in their favor. It still did not matter as they got over the hump, and clearly Mint wasn't able to make it work. But yeah, with that Casino right there, you're right. I mean, it really shows you how all in a sense they were with the earlier game victory. So anything else from you, Melons, about the game?
I would have really liked to see the Pharaoh been a different hero. I don't feel like he had any impact whatsoever on the game. I think that a Madman, maybe even a Magnus, yeah, maybe like even an offlane Jeremiah, but some hero that provides either staying power or damage. But Pharaoh is more picked for, like, if you think of like what I mean, for example, when we ran with Pharaoh back when we were at the Hontor Finals, we ran it around a Moon Queen lineup and a Drunken Master and Kraken lineup. You know, we had heroes that provided damage, like specifically in the case of Moon Queen. I think Moon Queen Pharaoh has always been like the combo because you got one here. It's just really good peel and protect for a hero that outputs massive amounts of damage. And when you don't have that in your lineup, Pharaoh's impact just isn't really felt because he just doesn't accomplish much for you. He's peeling, but, I mean, first of all, it doesn't do anything to Dr. Repulsor, and second, who do you really need to protect? You know, Soul Reaper went for the tanky item build, but they just didn't have the damage to win any fights, and unfortunately, that lost them the game.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we are going to be going on a break here, guys. Not just yet, though. More so we're going to have game number 2 coming up around the corner, but actually, before we go on a break right here, we actually have, we're going to be bringing somebody on here very shortly. He should be logging on here shortly. We got a special announcement going to be coming up. So this being the grand finals here for Han Tour Season 3, you know, a lot of hype around it for good reason. The winner of the series, a best out of 5. The winner goes to Thailand. Right now, Willowkeeper, they are up 1-0 here as a result of that victory. We still got plenty more games to go, I'm sure. But you know what? We're going to go on a very short break right here, but we'll be right back, guys, with the not only Game 2, but we got a special announcement that we're going to be making here live on Honcast. You do not want to miss that. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Special announcement, and then Game 2 coming up next. All right, we're coming back here. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Milk Fat is here. Milk Fat, of course, you guys know him as head of marketing here for Heroes of New Earth, and going to be joining us here. He's been around the scene for a long time, been involved with the competitive side, and definitely we want to bring him on because, well, he's got some big news for you guys. So, Milkfat, I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, who won the last game? I was watching on Huncast. There was a delay.
That's a good point. Tree ended up winning it, actually. They're up 1-0 now.
Oh, dang. All right. Yeah, so, I just want to jump on the call. Sorry, as I'm on my phone, I'm actually headed to GDC right now, so
Nice.
Not at my computer. But I just wanted to call, and first of all, I just wanted to thank everybody in our community for supporting Han Tour Season 3 so far. I mean, it goes to say without a doubt that Ursa Core was wildly successful. We saw some of the biggest prize pools that we've ever seen. We've been having a great tournament so far, and it's, we're ending it on a bang here with a great – I mean, these playoffs have just been awesome. These are some of the best games at Han that I've ever watched. So thank you, everybody in our community, for supporting esports, supporting Ursa Core. And, with the end of the playoffs, it's basically we got 2 teams that are going to Thailand. So what's next for all those other teams? We got 2 teams that are headed to the World Finals. But what about all these other teams that have been practicing in the playoffs? What do they still need to, keep around for? What do they need to look out for? And I am pleased to announce that we will be going back to DreamHack this summer. So with the success of Ursa Core and community-funded esports, we are going to be launching a new set of community-funded esports avatars, both available in Plinko and the shop. And these are going to be available on March 10th in Plinko, and then March 23rd in the shop. We have a really cool page coming out up next week with everything that you guys need to do in order to support it. But I'll tell you right now, at least 5 teams from North America and Europe will be attending the LAN in DreamHack.
Nice.
So there is going to be a big LAN back for the NAU scene. We should have a really fun prize pool, a really good event. Going to be great to be back at DreamHack. So, guys, really excited to tell you that. And, of course, I'll tell you guys all here right now, Han Tour Season 4 confirmed. We're going to be doing it. It's going to be great. We'll get started right after DreamHack. So 2015 is going to be a great year for Han. Looking forward to it. And, guys, these 8-bit avatars that are going to be available for DreamHack are some of the coolest things that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some really cool stuff in store for you guys in terms of both content and supporting esports. So, once again, thank you. We're excited to head back there. It's going to be great. And one last thing. Good luck, guys. Good luck to both teams competing today. And I'll see the winners in Thailand.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Milkfat. That is good. Hashtag back to DreamHack. Han is well alive. Oh, my God. That is awesome.
Back to DreamHack, baby.
I can't believe that. No, that's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people are going to be really excited about that, not only the teams, but the viewers and the players and everything. So thanks for joining us, Milkfat. I know you said you're on your way to GDC, so I don't want to keep you here. But thanks again, man.
No problem. Good luck, everybody. Bye.
See ya. There we go. What do you think, guys? Hunter Season 4, DreamHack? Minnie?
Yeah, sounds pretty sick, actually. I had no idea what was that. I saw
Kept it a
the
secret
sound
from
going
you.
on, and I was like, what? I was really
right.
confused, but that sounds freaking awesome, man. Like, I mean, Hontor at Thailand has been always awesome, but DreamHack just has that more of a game feel,
It's
particularly
where
by
it began.
NA, you know?
It's where it
Exactly,
began
yeah.
with the
So
LAN,
that sounds so sick, man. So any Hon fan out there is going to be very, very pleased,
Yeah.
including myself.
Anyways, guys, we're actually going to go another short break right here. We do got Game 2 coming up, so big news there. Excited. Hopefully that gets you even more hyped about what's to come. But, hey, we got to get back to the series now. We got a big Grand Finals, of course, coming at you. So, once again, a short break right here. But Game 2, just around the corner here. Willow Keeper up 1-0 over Fresh. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.